The Chicago Bears not only addressed both sides of the trenches and the slot receiver, they made a trade in the second round as well to address all those positions. No running back yet. We're going to talk about what the Bears did in the second round and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go to get into this content for today, y'all. And the Chicago Bears got active on day 2 in the NFL draft. They went out initially with their initial pick at number 39. They decided to go ahead and draft Luther Burden, the wide receiver out of Missouri. This guy, 206 pounds. He brings a lot of what the Chicago Bears want at that position, being 6 feet tall as well. Having that opportunity, 5'11" is how tall he is. But when you look at it, he's a guy that is a dominant slot receiver. And we've talked about before, under Ben Johnson's offense, the slot receiver is one of the most important positions on the field. It is actually one of the positions as well that gets the most kind of, statistical output when it comes down to it. So this really continues to feel at the beginning of this draft, of feeling like a draft that Ben Johnson and his offense are hugely important to the Chicago Bears here. They get Luther Burden Luther Burden the third, and what he projects to be potentially at the NFL level is a guy that can be very productive. Now, 600-something yards in receiving last year, over 1,000 the year before that in 2023. And this is a guy that has a positionless feel to his game, right? 5'11", 208 pounds. This guy's going to be versatile in that slot receiving game. He has the ability to catch, the yards after the catch, the vertical threat ability. All that's there for Luther Burden III as well. And don't look outside chance that Ben Johnson gets creative in how he uses them as well. Maybe even using them some in the run game as well. This guy, when he gets to the open field, he has amazing instincts when it comes down to it. Now, some of the question about him is the route running, right? He's not the best route runner. Now, at the slot position, but that may not be as big of a concern when it comes down to him. But that what he does well is he's a slot receiver through and through, right? That's really where he's going to thrive at. And he has a chance under a Ben Johnson offense for that to be the best thing with him, right? And I think with the versatility and the ways that Ben Johnson can use him, that's going to be something that also is going to be a positive for him here in Chicago specifically, right? And so the Bears went out and they got somebody who, again, may feel like a little bit of a reach to some, but again, the focus on getting players that are going to make this offense, as far as at the skill positions, really good, right? You look at him and what he does after the catch. He turns into a playmaker that can get significant yards after the catch when it comes down to that, and you love that. You pair him with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. You still have Zacchaeus in here as well, right? And this now has rounded out the Chicago Bears wide receiver room to really be a wide receiver room that could be really reflective of what Ben Johnson likes to do, right? One of the biggest question marks for him was, is he going to be able to align as an outside receiver? But with this team and how they've built it, that question is almost null and void because you know exactly what he's going to play under Ben Johnson. Now, of course, somebody has to sit, things like that. How much is he going to be able to step up in those scenarios? That's going to be important for him over there. But this is a guy that's a natural, fluid playmaker. And, he was projected as by many to be somebody who can start at the NFL level. So I think the Bears start that off doing really, really good. Now, most people are going to ask, well, why the Bears didn't address tackle. Well, they did in this draft. They got Azie Trapilo, the offensive tackle out of Boston College. This guy, 316 pounds, but he moves. Really good hand technique when it comes down to it. He's a versatile offensive lineman. He played every offensive line position in college other than center, right? He played equal snaps at left tackle and right tackle, which really has, the versatility there can open up doors for him to play multiple positions for the Bears, especially, maybe coming off the bench. We'll see if he's good enough to win a starting position. But some of the concerns about him, he's not the most athletic, but sometimes with offensive linemen, that's not really a thing that really matters when it comes down to that. He's big. He has those long arms. That's not going to be there. The versatility that he can provide all up and down depth-wise. As a run blocker, he's really good. And that's, I think, what's going to help him so much. He uses his frame really good in that. His feet placement as well in that works really good. Hand movement, all of that thing, hand placement, I should say, all of that really good for him. He is a huge body when it comes down to it. 0 sacks allowed, right? So this is a guy that doesn't allow much pressure. He doesn't allow much sacks. And I think like a guy like Dan Rouchar and our offensive line coach is going to be able to do wonders with a guy that can play 4 positions on that offensive line as they really try to look at what position is best going to suit him at the NFL level, right? All those things are really good for him. Some concerns there, of course, right? Not trying to present him as the perfect option here for the Chicago Bears, but when you look at it, the ability to fine-tune that's going to be the important part here. Better in the run game than he is in the pass game, which, of course, provides some concern there. But I think overall the Bears have done enough work. And again, now you have him, you have Karen Amagaje, some really good young offensive linemen that can play multiple positions that really can grow under your system. And you're hoping that Dan Rouchar is going to be able to get the most out of those guys, right? So initially, he's going to probably be used in run-specific downs for a while there when it comes down to it. And the anchor that he's able to develop and understand how to use leverage on that offensive line, that's going to tell where he can go and where the ceiling is going to be for him with the Chicago Bears team. And for those that are asking, he handles the bull rush really well, right? So he already has that. But again, it's going to take more than that, especially if Braxton's not going to be the starter long-term here. We'll discuss that on another full episode of Chicago Bears Central. But the Bears address the offensive tackle position also here in the second round. And then with the pick that they picked up with the Buffalo Bills, they traded out of 41. They picked up 58 and 62 in that trade with the Buffalo Bills. They gave up their 3rd round pick as well. They have a 4th round pick now in this. They'll have a 4th round pick. So, look out for that, right, when it comes down to it. But they got 2 picks in the second round for trading their 2nd round pick and their 3rd round pick, and they picked up a 4th. But with their 2nd pick or their 3rd pick in the 2nd round, they got Shamar Stewart, the edge out of Texas A&M. This is a big body here when it comes down to him. So the Bears address their edge position. I like this kid a lot, right, when it comes down to it. Where he's going to play, right? Is it going to be edge? Is it going to be defensive line or defensive tackle? That's the question that you want to ask yourself there with Shamar Turner. But I think overall, like, the kid has it, right? That you address that defensive line. He's going to come in here and be tackle. When you look at what he's done as well, 2 sacks last year, 6 the year before that, right? So this is a guy that can get to the quarterback, right? He's going to have that solid part of his game. He's going to get to play behind Grady Jarrett, Andrew Billings, so he's not going to probably have a lot asked upon him right away, but I do think he's going to probably pass up Zach Pickens when it comes down to it. Great first step. The versatile positions that he can play either position when it comes down to it. He really makes really good fluid movements. Overall, like, his size is a weapon that he uses really well, right? Now, his pass rush, the technique there needs to be worked on a little bit, but he still has shown the ability to get to that, right? And when he plays on that interior defensive line, there's some questions, of course, there on how that's going to work for him overall. But this is another guy that can play edge. He can play defensive tackle. And you like to have those versatile weapons, especially as you're looking to develop people. And I think that's a really big thing for him as well. He's shown that he can line up his edge. He's shown that he's played interior defensive line. So the Bears add a versatile weapon here when it comes down to it. And he's a multiple-use defensive lineman. I think that's really going to be good for him here, right? Now, he was projected to go day 3, so it does feel like maybe a little bit of a reach here for the Bears. But again, we're trusting what the Bears have done. And until others shown, we'll see when it comes down to it. So the Bears don't go running back here in round 2. Travion Henderson, Quashawn Judkins were off the board before the Bears' first pick, which I think did change some things here for the Bears. So running back is still something that maybe the Bears just aren't going to address this year, right? Which the running back class is deep next year as well. But the Bears may have missed out on their ability to address running back in this draft. We'll see how it shakes out, right? The Bears did pick up, they will have a pick in round 4 in this draft now. So we'll see how that shakes out for this team. But overall, like, the Bears are going to have some opportunities to really see what they can do. And listen, what the Bears have done here, I know it's not the flashy names, the blue chippers, as people say, that they wanted to see the Bears get in this draft. But I think the Bears have made some really good functional moves with getting players in here that fit not only the play style that both coaches are trying to bring in here, but also overall just what they need at certain positions to add some depth and things like that. So the Bears are now off the board until round 4, where they do pick. They'll have the 7th pick in round 4. So we'll see how that goes on day 3 for the Bears. They'll have a pick in round 4, round 5, and round 7 in tomorrow's draft unless they make another trade. If they do, you guys know news drops, we drop. So stay on the lookout for that. But that's my time for right now. Let me know how you guys feel on it down below. So far in this draft, the Bears get Colston Loveland at tight end. They get Luther Burden at wide receiver, Azie Trapilo at offensive tackle, and Shamar Turner at defensive tackle / edge, depending on if he can be that 3 tech in the NFL level. And I think overall the Bears have had a really good functional draft. If you're looking for those home runs, out of the park ones, that's going to have to be waiting and seeing how these guys develop. I do think Loveland has the chance to be that. But overall, we'll see what the Bears have in store for us. You guys can let us know how you feel down below. As always, you can follow us at Shy Bears Central. Send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. See you guys on the next one. Bear down, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.